Good afternoon, everybody. Today is Tuesday, July 6th, and we have the first round of Euro semifinals today. Michael, what's up?
It's going good. I'm excited for the games. I'm glad I saw all the other games. It's been a great
You
tournament.
have a rough morning?
No, no, no. Just a little early. Just waking up.
I told you we could have done it later, man. Like,
I like getting it done early because we got to watch the game today. Come on.
I know. All right. So, obviously, the tournament's been awesome so far. Um, I think one of the biggest things that's happened has happened recently. Spinazolla, I think that's how say his name. I don't
Yeah.
know. He's out. According to a lot of people, he was the best player in the tournament so far. I thought he was played very well. Um, so he's out for their semifinal matchup versus Spain. And we'll get into that matchup as we get up there. But we
Yeah.
figured we'd kind of kind of recap a little bit of the whole tournament a little bit. And I don't. I think you maybe said early on. I don't think I did, but Denmark. I mean, what they're doing is good, and I've kind of swung on them. I actually think they're pretty good now.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it doesn't really make sense why they're good because none of us really know their players except for like the big names that are from English teams or Italian teams. But like their attackers, I mean, Braithwaite because of Barcelona, but the young guys, they're really doing it. Like Damsgaard and another
I
guy I
can't think of
can't pronounce.
the midfielder Kier or something's been really good, and then I can't think of the guy's name up front. He's been really Dolberg maybe.
Yeah, Dolberg. Yeah,
Yeah, they've been really good. So I'd love to see them. They'll play England in the other semifinal tomorrow. I'd love to see them go on, but I think we need to talk about it at the same time. I think you were completely right with what you said about England. I think last show we all just kind of like them because we know all the players.
hmm
So we'll get into that matchup, but that'll be played at Wembley, so that'll be interesting to say the least.
yeah.
So kind of recap the tournament a little bit. Who has been the most impressive team for you so far that isn't in the semifinals?
That isn't in it. I think it has to be Switzerland, just because they beat France.
Yeah,
But I think if you're going away from Switzerland, it could be. It could have been Ukraine. I think.
yeah. I had Switzerland and Ukraine up there definitely. Even though I think Ukraine got a little lucky with that last minute goal. I mean, we kind of saw what
Yeah.
happened to them versus England. So
Mhm.
um, yeah, for me it's tough. Because I want to say one of the semifinalists. If you were to ask me, I would probably say Switzerland too because I mean I'm not going to say they should have beat Spain, but they could have. I
They,
mean,
yeah, they definitely could have.
so and then we'll get down to more of this in a second, but I mean I think that a goalie made himself Jan Sommer probably made himself a couple $1,000,000. So.
Oh,
Um,
easily.
and now to move on to the opposite of that, who would you say has been the most disappointing team? I think there are a lot of the good teams that are up there that will say disappointing. I have one in mind though.
I think I mean, I think France is the obvious one, but I don't want to say France. So I'm going to say the Netherlands
That's a good pick.
because I mean, personally, I didn't expect that much from them, but then they did top their group, 9 points, and then they just fell apart. So
Yeah,
I'm going Netherlands.
yeah, I completely agree with everything you said. I didn't really expect much with them coming in, and then
Mhm.
they kind of just won three straight. I think people I know we really didn't, but people kind of overlooked their group and how easy it kind of was. So they got through with 3 wins, and then yeah, I mean they just fell apart. Um, my most disappointing team, it has to be Portugal for me. I know they made the round of 16, but and we'll get down to Belgium in a little bit. But I feel like this was Portugal's last maybe run with Ronaldo. I'll give them the World Cup next summer, but then again, they're going to be tougher teams in that.
Mhm.
So and just and I'll you know what I'll just skip right ahead to the most disappointing player. I'm sure you'll have a different one. But as a Manchester United fan, Bruno might as well have not been on the team. I mean, he played in Ronaldo's shadow the every game they played in, and he just never found his groove. So for me, Portugal was incredibly disappointing, and along with Bruno, I really thought this might be the tournament after such a good season at Manchester United. I thought this might be the turning point for him, where he kind of takes over the Portugal team, but clearly it wasn't. And there's no point in getting into it about Ronaldo and if he was better, blah blah blah. But yeah, what did you think about that?
I mean, Bruno was very disappointing, but another Portuguese player that I thought could have been better was João Felix.
Yeah,
because he is that guy on Atletico Madrid, like Bruno is for Man U, and he got. I think, I mean, I don't know the numbers, but I think he got more playing time than Bruno, and I think he started more games. So, and he doesn't play exactly the same position as Ronaldo, and like they don't need the ball the same. So I feel like he should have been better. I think you can also say Mbappe was pretty disappointing.
oh yeah,
I mean, especially because the missed penalty at the end. But I mean, I feel like there wasn't that many specific, like, unimpressive players this tournament. Like, I feel like it was kind of just like the team as a, like the whole Netherlands team was kind of just bad. It was
yeah.
You couldn't really pin one person down.
It almost seemed like during this tournament, like in the past, you had like you knew the teams because of their stars, kind of like you knew Netherlands had Robin and Van Persie, like Spain had Ramos and PK in the back, and it feels like now, more than anything, it's just like these teams have come together and kind of built themselves for this kind of competition. So,
Yeah,
um, but yeah, it's been a crazy good competition. I really would put a compilation of all the goals and stuff on here. It just doing it live takes forever. So if you do want to see the goals, go look it up on YouTube. It's not hard to find.
absolutely.
I mean, I bringing up Insigne's goal versus Belgium was, I mean,
Amazing.
it was incredible. That was crazy. So, and I guess we'll move on to after the most disappointing team. Who did you think? I mean, it can be someone not in the semifinals, but who would you say has been the best player so far?
I think there's for sure an argument for Spinazzola for Italy. I think he was pretty great. There's definitely an argument for Sommer for Switzerland. Um, you could have said De Bruyne, but he only played a couple games. So, you know, it might be a little biased, but I might say Kane. Harry Kane.
All right, so we're gonna jump down in the.
Oh, I'm just
We're
a
gonna.
little shout out.
Okay. Little shout out. We'll wait for the. Okay.
I think out of all the English players, he might get the most flack just for not scoring.
Yeah.
And he went, what was it, two games without scoring, or 3 games, and then he gets like 2 really nice goals against Ukraine. So I think I mean, playing for Spurs, you get a lot of backlash just because they're not a very good team. So I think he's used to kind of just not listening to the noise. But he's impressed me, which I think means something because I watch him every week.
Yeah. No, and you said it about the English players. I mean, we all just kind of know. I mean, it's almost like it's not the same thing, but it's almost like they're like NBA players or like NFL players. Like
Yeah.
we know the Premier League. Like I know, I'm sure you probably know more. Like I know a lot of the teams in La Liga and Serie A and whatever, but it just seems like we know all these guys, so it's been cool.
Mhm.
And I agree. Kane, I mean, you couldn't. I mean, he as a forward, he's the best goal poaching forward I've ever seen. I think. I mean, he just always ends up in the right spot. He reminds me of Cavani when Cavani was a little younger. I think he's better. It will be better than Cavani, and is right now better than Cavani, obviously. But I mean, he just gets his head on the ball, gets whatever. I think his second goal versus Ukraine, it was very confusing to me because I watched it like 3 times, and I don't know who put it in the cross, Luke Shaw, but it looked like he like contorted his body weirdly.
Yeah, he kind of hit it like.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
so I didn't know if like it hit off him and went in, but yeah, I mean, he's had a great tournament. I wouldn't say great tournament. He's had a great past couple of games.
Yeah.
For me, I wasn't really in on this until I did a lot of like backup and kind of research. Pedri for Spain has been insane. He's 18, or he might be 21. I don't know. I think he's 18.
I think he's 18.
Yeah, he's controlled the midfield for them. it feels like, I mean, Spain is a team. It's actually like a team. I don't think Italy's defenders like I can guarantee you. Well, first of all, Chiellini's not scared of anybody, but I mean, I feel like if there is one person that Italy could focus on to then hopefully beat them, it would be Pedri. I think because I think he's like the linchpin that kind of makes everything go for me. But he's been really good. I think that Spinazzola is really good. Lukaku could have been good, but once again they lost. But yeah, we'll and then finally, Schick is out now, so I think Kane could get.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's not that hard of it. I mean, he could get 5 goals or 3 more goals in the next 2 games. It's not out of the question.
For golden, yeah.
But
Ronaldo and Schick are tied right now. They're both at 5. So, I mean, I was looking at a video about like sorry, my dog's barking. I was looking at a video about who's gonna win the Ballon d'Or, and it was like I think number 1 right now is Messi because it's always Messi, and then like the second in the betting was Kane, and I don't think I mean Kane right now. If they go out against Denmark, there's no way he wins it. But I think if England wins and he's the Golden Boot, and he was also the Golden Boot in Prem, and he had the most assists, I think there's an argument for that. And I think because he knows all that stuff, because he likes winning these awards. Like, I mean, of course, you're not going to say, "Oh, I want to win all these individual awards," but he's thinking about that. He likes winning those. So I think I'm backing my guy to get a couple more goals.
I'm looking at the Golden Boot standings right now. You're right. It's basically everyone's out. Dolberg actually has probably, if they were to win versus England, he has 3, so he could conceivably get 2 in the next couple. But yeah, I thought that was interesting. But so now I think we have to get into the conversation. I think we talked about it a little bit, and we'll wait on them. Where does France go from here? Like, it seems like I know I put it in the outline. I think Mbappe needs to get out of France. It seems like every time they play in Champions League 2, and he just isn't as good as everyone thinks because he's so used to playing against not as good competition. Which is, I mean, even crazier that PSG didn't win League 1 this year, but whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just don't know where they go from here because, I mean, you obviously have guys like Mbappe and Pogba who are still super young, but I feel like France is turning into the England of the past where, like, the tabloids are getting the better of them and, like, things like that. So I don't know what you thought.
Well, for the PSG thing, Mbappe, it always comes out that, like, his dream is to play for Real Madrid. I don't think it's going to happen this year because they have Mbappe, Neymar, Di Maria, all the guys they've already had with Ramos, with Hakimi, with the Italian goalkeeper now Donnarumma. So they're going to win something this year.
They got Donnarumma?
Yeah, they got him. And they got someone else. I can't remember who it was. Someone else, like, worthwhile. But you're right. The tabloids have gotten France. Like, you hear
it happened before the tournament.
Even before. And then now even more after they're out. You hear, I think it was Adrien Rabiot's mom was, like, bagging on Mbappe to Mbappe's dad, saying, like, he's too big for the moment. It should have been someone else taking it. Something like, Mbappe may have missed, but he's the guy for France. Like, he's one of the 5 best players in the world. But
it's very weird. I like it. It's and like I said, it all came to a head like before the tournament, before they even played their first game when there was
Mbappe.
Yeah, so
a name we didn't say for most impressive though was Pogba. He was great this tournament, I thought.
Yeah, he's played well. Yeah, and that one goal he had was sick. It's gonna be interesting. Go ahead.
That's how he always is for France, though. He's like Jordan Pickford, where they're good for country and bad for club.
He's not terrible with United. He's just not. He's not what you expect from him. It'll be interesting to see if he. I doubt he'll leave this summer, but it'll be interesting to see when he does leave because I think he'll go back to you eventually.
Yeah.
And then France was basically I'll call it the treble. I don't know what it's actually called. So Spain won the 2008 Euros, and then the 2010 World Cup, and then the 2012 Euros.
Mhm.
Uh, I'll call it the treble, whatever. Do you think we'll see that and again in the next 10 years? Because I don't.
The next 10 years,
10, 15 years. I don't know.
I mean, I feel like this isn't Europe, but I think Brazil could do it. Like they could win the Copa, the World Cup, and then the Copa.
Yeah, yeah,
But I
yeah.
mean, I don't know if we're counting that. I don't think in Europe we'll see it.
I don't think we will either. I thought, if anything, I thought France had the best chance.
Oh, yeah,
I
definitely.
mean, and had they won this, I think they would have been heavy favorites in the World Cup next summer. I still think they'll be pretty heavy favorites. I mean, I'm sure they're basically got everybody back. So, I mean,
Yeah.
it's a quick turnaround, but yeah, it's just interesting. It was so weird to see France go down that early. So, but
Yeah.
whatever, it made me happy. So I don't really care.
Yeah. It's awesome as a neutral fan for that. To just see
Exactly.
them lose.
And then I think we touched on this, but the golden generation for Belgium. I read a couple articles on it that people at ESPN were making their comments about it. I kind of agree. I think their time has come and gone, and I don't really blame them as much as like it's just the timing.
Mhm.
Like you need to have perfect timing to do this, and yeah. So, what are your thoughts on Belgium?
I for sure their last chance is the World Cup, like for sure, because you wait 2 more years, you're gonna like their defense is already really old with Vertonghen and Alderweireld, so that's gonna get even older. I mean, De Bruyne and Lukaku, they're not young. Hazard's not young. Hazard is already like a shadow of what he was, which is
I won't even say I should because we shouldn't. I brought him up for most disappointing in this tournament. Maybe just most disappointing player in the past 2 years.
yeah. It's been. I mean, it's another thing. Watching him in the Prem for so long, just tear up Tottenham and tear up every team, and then go to Real Madrid, and he just it's like he's scared of his shadow. He can't play.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, he was on top of the world. What was it like 2 summers ago? And then
Yeah.
I don't know, but I agree. But with Belgium, it was all about timing, and I mean, they came up or they probably first got started when France was like young too. So I just think it's really about timing. But I do think, I mean, they'll put their full efforts towards the World Cup. But I mean, we've talked about the World Cup. Like people are going to have tired legs, and if your defense has tired legs, it's not going to be a good thing.
The World Cup is also it's just a different monster compared to the Euros. You have all the South American teams.
Yeah,
You have
yeah. I mean,
everyone like no, there's no easy game in the World Cup because it's everyone's like biggest game of their history.
Yeah.
I mean, there's some easy games when it's like France versus like Saudi Arabia because they're not. It's like one of those, but like
yeah, I got you.
once you get to the knockouts, it's like it's serious.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I like we said, I think they've come and gone. But who knows? And now on to what we really need to be talking about: the semifinal matchup for today, Spain versus Italy. I know I kind of touched on it in the beginning with Spinazzola being out. I think, and I said it with Pedri. I think if they can neutralize Pedri and neutralize Spain's kind of like midfield movement, which is obviously not an easy task. I think Italy can get away with a win. What are your thoughts?
I mean, I've backed Italy every game so far, so I'm going to continue backing them.
It was a smart pick.
Thank you, thank you. I think Spain is kind of they're the biggest underdog. I think even more than Denmark in the semifinals. They just weren't. I really didn't expect them to get past Switzerland once it went to penalties. So I think they're kind of a surprise. And Italy is. I think Italy almost losing to Austria has kind of made it like we're not messing around anymore. No team is taken lightly. We're gonna beat on everyone.
That's funny that you bring that up because I got to tell you, I completely forgot about Italy and Austria's game.
Mm-hmm.
I completely forgot about it. But yeah, you backed Italy. It was a good pick. Soccer is a sport where I do think missing like one guy does matter. So not having Spinazzola is going to suck. But I mean, the Italians' defense is veteran guys that they know how to play. And I got to tell you, Spain's front line, no one really scares me on that. I mean,
No.
I got to tell you, even if I'm a goalkeeper, if Alvaro Morata is coming at me, I'm like, I could probably stop this. So
Or you just think maybe he'll just miss.
yes, yeah, just dive one way and just
Yeah.
so it'll throw him off. But I do want to touch on something real quick. It seems like every like World Cup or every other World Cup or every other Euros, teams just suck at PKs. They've sucked this year again, like this summer.
Yeah.
I can't believe how many they missed. Like I said it back when we probably talked about it, but like when the U.S. and that Mexico game and everything I even remember saying like I think it's too close. I think it's too easy for him. And then we get to the Euros and they're all just missing.
Yeah.
So
I don't know what it's something in the water, I guess, in the Euros. I guess I mean Ronaldo hasn't missed any. You don't expect him to miss any, but Gareth Bale skied one.
yes, I didn't
Everyone,
even. I didn't even see that until I think like 2 days ago when I saw it on one of the highlight clips.
yeah, and I think in the Switzerland-Spain shootout, I think Jordi Alba and Sergio Busquets missed one. There's like the
Yeah,
two people on Spain you don't. They're like the two most veteran players. But this tournament, I think there's been a lot of missed penalties, and it's been the most own goals of any tournament
I've
ever,
seen that too. Yeah,
which is just. I mean, some of them are just kind of like just being stupid, but there's a lot of just it just skies into the top corner.
I
But
mean the best highlight I think is when I don't know what team it was, but when the goalie punches it into his own goal.
oh yeah,
I mean
I don't know. I don't know what
that
was
was
going
just
on.
like come on, man.
And Pedri had an own goal because he passed it from the halfway line. He passed it back to his keeper, and the keeper just let it go in. And then
I,
Pedri's name is on the score sheet. Then
well, it is what it is. But yeah, I just wanted to touch on that real quick. Um, to I guess sum this up, I think if they, I don't, it's going to be a weird game or match for me because I think both teams would like to control possession more than anything else. Obviously, they want to score goals, but I think they would both like to stay in possession, and they're both like. I'm legitimately excited to watch the game. I'm
Mhm.
usually like not. I'm legitimately excited because it's a bunch of like. It's like this. It's like big boulder hits. What's the thing called?
The
What's
immovable object
yes,
or
yes, yeah,
it's an unstoppable force.
yes, yeah. It's almost like that. It's like I just want to see who wins out. So
Yeah.
what do you think on it?
Well, if even if you're like, oh, back in my day, Spain had blah 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 Iniesta and Xavi. Well, this is still like this is Spain versus Italy. Like it's I think it's the most played Euros matchup ever. So like there's some history tied into it. I mean, it's different teams for sure. Spain has kind of passed the torch from Ramos and PK, but even De Gea is not playing anymore. It's pretty much just a new team. So I mean, I'm excited. You still have the Italian twin towers in the middle who I mean, like you said, Morata and Gerard Moreno, they're going to get bullied by Chiellini and Bonucci. Like they did it to Lukaku pretty much. They handled him.
I'm legitimate. Like if I saw Chiellini in like a street, I would be
Oh,
legitimately scared.
yeah,
I
you're
would
turning
like
the
it,
other way.
yeah. I mean, he's either in the mob or he just likes killing people, and he's gonna
He
kill me.
he looks like a mafia boss. They could make like
Yes.
a Sopranos remake, and it's Chiellini's Tony Soprano, and then Bonucci's like his right hand man.
Yeah, it's. I would not want to mess with. Not want to mess with him. And yet you're right. I just don't think Spain has enough up front that's going to really change the outcome of the game. Even with Spinazzola missing, like I said, the Italian defense is probably the most veteran group, one of the most veteran groups
Mhm.
in this whole tournament. So I like Italy. I do. I think I said it. I think it's going to be super low scoring. It would not shock me if it went 0-0 into penalties. But I'll take, as a prediction, I'll take 1-0 Italy.
For me, I think Spinazzola is obviously a big miss. I mean, he's probably if he played every game how he'd been playing, probably would have won player of the tournament if Italy won. But luckily for Italy, they have Emerson, the Chelsea left back, on their team. So it's not like they're putting in like a newbie. Like he's played in big games, probably played in more big games than Spinazzola actually. So I also think it's not going to be like a 5-5 game. I'm going to say Italy 2, Spain 0.
Okay.
I just I just
I
don't
think
see Spain scoring a lot. Like I just don't see it.
Which is what made that their quarterfinal game. What was it, Croatia? They played, which made it so
Yeah,
weird. It was 5-3 or whatever.
they do get hot though. It looks like Morata. He's terrible for 85 minutes, and then 5 minutes he looks like prime
Yeah,
Ronaldo.
yeah, for
You don't
five
know what's
minutes.
going on.
And hopefully, if you're Spain, you're like, okay, we got to capture this 5 minutes and use it to our best ability.
That's why he's on the field. He
Um,
starts to find that 5 minutes throughout
yeah,
the 90.
just for 5 minutes, he's got it.
Yep.
So on to tomorrow's semifinal, which I want to bring this up real quick. I don't think it matters much. They're pro players. I'm surprised that there isn't a complaint, or maybe there will be one coming, that Spain or the Italy winner will get an extra day's rest. I'm surprised by that.
Yeah.
But then if you think about it, like you think about the Super Bowl, there's a bye week in between. So I'm just surprised there hasn't been any talk of it. I hope there's not.
I mean, it also works out because then they have the same amount of time between the quarterfinals and the semifinals. But I mean, I think in England and Denmark, they're just like, it has to happen.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Someone's gonna get the short end. So
yeah, whatever. So on to that one. So we kind of talked about England a little bit. I mean, Denmark's run has been awesome, and I think, like we said in the beginning, they're actually good. Like a lot of this is owed to, I think, like the spirit and like them coming together and the emotions of Eriksen being hurt. That's definitely part of it. But there's also a large part of it. They're just good.
Yeah, I think they're ranked, if I'm not mistaken, they're in the top 10 in the World Cup rankings, which of course is with Eriksen, and Eriksen's like the biggest part of that team. But if Eriksen was on this team and they were in the semifinals, I might be picking them like without a doubt.
Yeah,
like they're really good,
and they seem like a close knit unit. That's like they're a team that you want to cheer for, and I do. I want. That's why I'm really excited for today, because I'm almost an unbiased thing. Tomorrow is gonna be different because I kind of want both to win, and I'm gonna be kind of sad whoever wins and kind of happy. But
yeah, that's exactly how I am. A big conflict of interest. I'm gonna be happy when someone scores and be like, "Oh no, the other team is down now."
Yeah, it's the only way to watch it. It makes it so exciting. You just got to switch your allegiances mid-game. Oh yeah, here's your allotted time to talk about Harry Kane.
I mean, I already touched on it, but he's just so good. Like you see the ball drop in the box. Who's the first to get to it? It's got to be Kane. You got to back him to get there. He just, I don't know what else to say. I hope Tottenham keeps him. Pretty much. I mean,
I would, but why would he leave Tottenham?
Well, so here's my. I mean, he's been with the club since he was like 16.
Yeah, I remember.
I understand him wanting to leave. I mean, he hasn't. Good for him. He hasn't said he wants to leave Tottenham. He just said he wants to win trophies, so he's kind of inching at it since we haven't won. But I wouldn't be mad at him if he left because he wants to win. I get that. I mean, you got to do what you got to do. I want him to stay because he's amazing. But I think, as a very biased fan, I want England to win, so he gets a Euros trophy. Hopefully, he gets the Golden Boot. Hopefully, he wins Ballon d'Or. Gets 3 trophies just like that, and he's like, "All right, let's do it at Spurs now, my boy club."
That is, I mean, that would be a picture perfect timeline for Spurs fans. Is if they win it, he gets the trophy, he gets the Golden Boot, and then he comes back to Tottenham. He's like, "I got all the trophies I need." So, no, it would be. I will say this: I have no idea if he'll leave or not. It would be weird to see Harry Kane in a different uniform, and I don't say that a lot about soccer players. It would be weird to see Harry Kane play for another team.
I don't think he's actually going to leave because it was like the pandemic kind of screwed every team with money, I guess, except for PSG, because they seem to just have all the money in the world.
I mean, you could do write a whole series of books on just God, keep going.
I mean, they're just annoying.
Just like
unless you're from Paris, there's no reason to be a PSG fan.
No,
there's no reason.
Other than they are sponsored by Jordan, which is kind of cool.
That's true.
Yeah,
but still,
yeah, I got you. Yeah, no, I like I said, it would be weird for me to see Harry Kane in a different uniform. So I hope he stay, and I hope he stays because I think the Premier. Well, I don't know for a fact. The Premier League is the best soccer I think in the world.
yeah.
So I would love to see him stay. I also, and you would hate this, but I wouldn't mind if he went over to Manchester City or
Well,
Chelsea.
of course. I mean, there's no every team in the Premier League would he'd be the starting striker. Like he'd go in,
Yeah,
and he's already said if he ever left, he doesn't want to go out of England because that's where he has he has 3 kids, I think, so he wants to stay in England. But that also makes it harder because Tottenham's not going to sell him to like Arsenal. That would be like sacrilegious. I
I mean,
mean,
that's like the Red Sox trading Babe Ruth to the Yankees.
yeah, it doesn't just won't happen. But I don't think he's going to leave. I don't think it's possible for him to leave because he's worth like 150 million.
And
And
he doesn't have a release. I highly doubt he has a release
no,
clause.
and he's still on. I think he's still with us for 3 years. So I mean,
Yeah,
it's gonna
so
be. So I hope he wins. So then he's happy about staying. He's not like he doesn't start resenting it.
I can understand that. Yeah, I can understand it absolutely. Um, I Other than Kane, I think Sterling has played pretty well. I think he's played well enough that he's kind of justified his starting spot. At least I would say
Mhm.
that. Um, I mean, you talk about Harry Kane. Luke Shaw has been incredible.
Oh,
I, I
absolutely.
have absolutely no idea how he's done this, but him going forward at the left back he's awesome. He does it for United, not as well as he's done it for England, but he's been really, really good. I've been really impressed, and I honestly just feel good for the guy about it because he was basically coming into the squad when Louis Van Gaal was still the head coach, and he kind of wrote him off. And then Jose Mourinho kind of wrote him off. Then I think he broke his leg and he was out for like a full year, and now he's finally. So, if anything, I feel good for Luke Shaw,
Yeah,
and he has been good. And I will say it would be perfect for England to choke versus basically the fairy tale team. It would be Iceland 2.0.
yeah,
Um, but I actually think like we said, Denmark is good. I think England's a fair amount better. And it's been odd. Southgate's been odd. I'll just say that. Like I said, Southgate's been odd with his picks. Like, I'm not mad that Rashford hasn't seen the field because Rashford's had a string of injuries with his hamstrings and everything. So if he's not going to be scoring goals, I'm fine. Don't put him in. They put in Sancho, um,
and he played
which
well.
yeah, he
I
played
like
well.
him.
He played well. But yeah, it didn't. And Grealish didn't start last game, did he?
No, I think he came on for Mount. Who did he come on for? Oh, he just didn't play at all.
Which was weird. I thought.
Yeah,
But once again, they won, so I guess it's justified. But yeah, back to the game. I think we're both in the same boat. With either way, I want a good game. I want a good game. You know what? This is the last thing I'll ask for from the Euros. I want a good game that doesn't go to penalties.
yeah.
I,
I wouldn't. I don't want to see this one end in penalties. This one
yeah,
deserves to like end
like
it
I
in
think
real time.
like it. I know I've said this. I've said that I wish they would just keep playing until they died. But like once you get to like the quarterfinals or even the semifinals of the tournament, it should be like it should be just keep playing until someone scores. I think
Mhm.
because when you go to penalties, I mean, granted you do get your upsets a lot when you go to penalties, but uh, whatever. So I like England. I think they're going to win. I don't know why people aren't talking about this as much. I mean, their next 2 games are in at Wembley,
Mhm.
which I still go back to the text that you thought I wasn't in Wembley, which was crazy. But I would kill to be there right now. I would even more
Oh
kill
my gosh.
to if they make a final to be in Wembley. I mean, there will never be a home field advantage like that. Um, so, like I said, I would like to see Denmark go on, but I think England's too good, and unfortunately, I think they don't fall this one, but I think they're very likely to fall in the final. But I could change my mind in a week. Like I said, it is at Wembley, so
Yeah.
um, I, I didn't really get your thoughts. Who do you think wins?
I mean, I'm also going to go England. I think they could easily be the most impressive team so far that's still in it. They have not, which is crazy. They haven't conceded a goal. Like no one
I
scored
know, I
yet.
know, I
So we
know.
don't
Yeah,
even know. Like, are they going to let a goal be scored? Are they just? They're the first team to hold 5 clean sheets in a row in the Euros, and so that's why you can't really say anything about Gareth Southgate's choosing because
it's
he's
worked.
winning. They haven't scored. Like, I mean, it doesn't look pretty, but they're getting it done. And like what we were saying about Denmark, like they're all unified because of this thing. England, I mean, England hasn't had any tragedy like Ericsson, but I've read articles that like the
Yeah,
atmosphere around their training ground, it's
it's
like a
the
club. It's like
yes.
they're best
You read
friends, all of
you read
them.
the same article I did. Yeah, like
Yeah,
that basically in the past they used to be very different, and now like they what was it they did the other day? I'm sure they like had a pool party or something
but
with
yeah,
all the inflatables. So yeah, I mean, give me England being good again in the Euros, and then give me US beating England in the World Cup. I love that.
that'd be
But
amazing. Well, because
um,
they have no rivalries now. Like I think Sterling and Rashford are like best friends, which a Man U and a Man City player being friends would be like terrible a couple years ago. Like when it was like Lampard and Gerrard and Scholes and all them, they like didn't really like each other. So there was like that whole issue with the midfield. But now everyone just loves each other and they just want to win. So Denmark has something for sure, something special. Like
left, yeah, they definitely
yeah,
do. They
but
definitely do.
England, I think England knows this is their chance to win, and they lost in the semifinals in the World Cup. They're the only team to get to both semifinals. I think that means something. They're going to be a force in the World Cup next year. They know I think they know what has to be done. I expect Kane to score like 12 goals. I,
12.
I expect
12.
him to get at least one. You always
I,
expect him to get at least one.
I will say I don't. I will say this: England won't win Euro unless Kane scores at least one goal combined in these next two matches.
For sure.
I don't think they can win the whole tournament without Kane scoring at least one goal in this game or the final.
For
Um,
sure.
but yeah, I think that's all we got for today. Yeah, game starts in 2 hours, 2 hours. Do you know where this one's being played?
This one, I can tell you right now. I don't. It's somewhere neutral. Oh, it's at Wembley also. So
Oh,
it's all at Wembley now because
okay.
it's yeah. So
I
England
just looked it up.
has a bit of an advantage, but I mean it happens every year that one team is the host country. They just
I
happen to be
mean,
good during it.
yeah, I mean, look back at the 2018 World Cup,
Yeah,
Russia or whatever. No, wait,
it was
yeah, that was
Russia,
2018. Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
Russia just if they didn't
Somehow,
cheat or whatever, but they went on. I mean, I don't know the story. I don't want to say anything, but I heard some whispers about them doing some bad
I
stuff.
mean, yeah, of course there were whispers about it. I mean, anything involved with FIFA at this point or
Yeah,
UEFA, I mean, it's
it's a
just
little shady.
you take it take it at what you make of it because it in 2 months it could come out that they're having slave laborers work more or
Yeah,
something. I don't know. So, um, but yeah, so I think that's all we got for today. You're going 2-0 Italy. I'm going 1-0 Italy. I'll go 2-0 England.
I'm gonna go 3-1 England.
So you're going to think they're going to give up a goal?
I think they're gonna give up one.
I
I
I
think
actually
Goldberg is gonna continue his just fire streak.
I actually don't think it would be bad if they won three
Yeah,
one. I think it would almost be better. It's almost like even though it doesn't make sense, but it somehow does. Like when like a undefeated basketball team's going into the playoffs or something, they're like, oh, it's good we lost now.
yeah.
Um, but with giving up a goal, I think it's different. But yeah, I don't think it would be the worst thing if they gave up a goal. So
I'm gonna even make a deeper prediction. I think Denmark scores first, and then England turns it on, and just kind
that
of, which would be it'd be hard to see Denmark just get heartbroken because
yeah,
I mean, but I
but
know all the England players like it. They're at Wembley. It's like they score, and it's like
yeah.
they break the sound barrier. It's insane.
If they go down 1-0, that will be the loudest place in the world.
Yeah,
I mean, so yeah. I assume we'll probably come back before the final is on it's Sunday. Maybe we'll do a quick one sometime this week. just kind of recap the
For
tournament,
sure.
do the finals. But yeah, I think that's all we got today. And I don't know. A happy belated birthday, America. Good luck at ESPN dealing with more of your fallout. And any last words, Michael?
Enjoy the games.
Oh yeah, it's true. Enjoy the games.
Enjoy them.